I'll get straight into it. The roles of a sports coach. First one's a role model. A coach must be a role model towards their athletes. They need someone to be able to look up to and look to for advice. Most importantly, if the athletes they coach are young, and naturally look up to them how they behave when competing and outside of sport. For example, if the coach comes to a session hungover from an athlete not setting the right example, the other athlete will think it's acceptable to do so, which rubs off on them. Sir Alex Ferguson always conducted himself as a positive role model as a coach, widely regarded as one of the best coaches. The next role as a coach is a manager. The manager must be able to be successful. They must be able to successfully manage an athlete who is regarded as a top level coach. They would do this by pointing their athlete in the right direction, be able to make decisions quickly if the athlete requires guidance and assistance. Experience is key to being a good manager. Moving from competing at a higher level to managing the sport, this then gives them knowledge that can't be taught, but the situations the athletes will find themselves in, the coach will already been done and completed. So there is pass on the do's and don'ts, which give the athletes an edge in the competition. Next one's an advisor. An advisor would advise athletes on the appropriate training to be conducted, suitable kit to wear, and the right equipment to use. For example, if the coach lacks knowledge of any of these aspects, then it would put the athletes in danger of getting injured. If they aren't using the correct equipment or wearing the appropriate kit. Also, the coach would be wasting time with the athletes if they're advising them to change certain skills when it wasn't necessary. The next one's a friend. The role of a friend is vital to be a successful coach, because competition can be very nerve-wracking for some athletes, and often they look to support through pressures to get support for them through the pressure to give them to talk if they feel they have someone to talk to if they feel they have to. A good example of a friend who dictates the athlete's performance is when Mike Tyson's coach and close friend Gus Di Matteo died. He acted as a parent to Mike Tyson when his mother died. To give them a friendship was rare in the sport of boxing at the time, and when Gus Di Matteo did pass away, so did Mike Tyson impressed his performance and he lacked desire to win for many years then. Next one's a mentor. When athletes attend training sessions, you are responsible to their parents and family for ensuring that they are safe and secure. You have to monitor their health and safety while training and support them. They should support them if they should have any problems or sustain any injuries. Another one's a leader. A coach will be able to lead the athletes because the coach must be dominant enough to control and lead the session, but still be approachable. During the coach sessions, the coach will stand out above the rest as the leader, so athletes look up to them. Without them being a leader, athletes would have no respect for the coach, resulting in them having little control of the session, making it not necessary for athletes to even attend. This would hold the coach's chance of being successful if they don't put themselves as a leader first. Responsibilities, health and safety. Coaches are responsible for health and safety of their athletes. Coaches should have access to first aid facilities and be able to perform first aid and all the information they need to contact the emergency service. The coach is liable if evidence can show that normal standards and practices have not been followed, so will be blamed and charged if anything did happen. A vast knowledge in sport is required to be a successful coach. They must be able to pass on the knowledge they have gained from you taking part of learning it from other coaches. Without knowledge, they would have the risk of injuring their athletes by teaching them the wrong technique. This will also create bad techniques that the athletes will use, resulting in their performance not being as high as if they were going to coach who has greater knowledge and uses the correct techniques. Equal opportunities. A coach must provide equal opportunities for everyone in their group so it's fair and everyone taking part. Singling out individuals because of age, gender, religion or ethnic background will result in participation levels dropping in sports and the amount of athletes not wanting to be coached by certain coaches will also because of equal opportunities not being given. Communication is the last one for one. A coach must be able to communicate correctly with all their athletes so they can get the best out of them. Communicating with them correctly will also motivate them to want to succeed more. For example, if the coach shouts and uses inappropriate language at their group, then it will usually result in the participants not wanting to take part and dropping out of the sport. Part 2 responsibilities is organisation. If a coach wasn't organised, then they would show up to sessions at the wrong time, have the wrong session planned with them, run the wrong ability for the levels, run the wrong ability level for the class they're taking, not be able to keep track of time. All these are major problems and will hold the coach back from becoming an elite level of coaching. These problems will also result in athletes not wanting to be coached by them because they're wasting their time by not being organised. Time management. Time management is essential for a coach to be successful, because without it they're not able to keep track of time, resulting in that either going over the time or not being enough. For example, if the coach spends 40 minutes at an hour-long session taking the ball, then leaves nothing to focus on skills, which is really the main part of the session. Problem solving. A coach is responsible for problem solving and must be able to do quickly and correctly so that the session can run and continue to be beneficial as possible to the athletes who are taking part. For example, if the problem is clear, they know how to deal with it quickly and correctly, then it results in the session stopping, becoming pointless because the problem not being solved, resulting in coaches getting. This will also result in the injury of athletes. Problems on for example, if with the risk assessment not being filled out correctly, if something needs moving and doesn't get moved, then the athlete would then fall over the risk to trip over it and get injured. Analysing and evaluating. A successful coach must be able to observe the athletes correctly and then be able to evaluate their performance so that they can give correct and appropriate feedback on how they can improve. This is vital so the coach can change sessions around the athletes so they can on areas for improvements and not wasting time on things they're already comfortable with or skills that do not apply for them. I.e. you wouldn't train a striker of football for positioning off a corner for a goalkeeper. Adapting. A coach must be able to adapt session around certain ability levels. For example, they don't want to be coaching a session for high ability group if they're just getting into it or they're younger participants. Results in them becoming frustrated with not being able to do the skill and not wanting to carry on the sport even though they've only just got into it. The next is skills. Instructing and explaining. A coach must be clear and detailed in the way they explain the session they're conducting and they must do this so all participants know exactly what they are doing and why they are doing it. If the coach doesn't say it in a way they understand it, it results in them not being able to perform the skill properly and not understand why they are doing the skill. Demonstrations. A coach must be able to perform the skill at a high level so that when they show demonstration, the participants know exactly what to do. If they are showing the wrong technique, then the participant will copy. Doing the wrong technique will result in the athlete not being able to perform at a high level because of bad coaching. Even in extreme cases, it can result in injury of the athlete. Motivated. To gain the most out of their athletes, a coach must be able to motivate them and to find the right way to motivate people. People get motivated in different ways. Some like encouragement and praise, others like to be shouted at to prove the other person wrong so that they can perform to correctly. Every top coach knows how to motivate their athletes by observing and seeing what works best for them. If they didn't do this and the coach shouted at a participant who didn't get motivated that way, there's a chance they don't want to continue in the sport because the participation levels dropping. Adapting your behaviour. Being able to adapt to an athlete's behaviour is vital if you want to become a top coach, because if they aren't able to adapt, then the athlete will not have any interest in the session. For example, if an athlete likes a hands-on session, being very practical, and the coach will adapt it to have very little theory and mostly practical to get the most out of their athletes and enjoying some increased participation levels because they are doing what they like. Styles of coach. Command coaches presume that young athletes are submissive. The instructions given and the information often moves in one direction only from the coach to the athletes. Coaches who display this habit believe that coaching success is based on how well the athlete can reproduce a skill as taught or demonstrated by the coach. Practice. In this approach, the coach sets up a number of stations at which athletes perform a predetermined skill or exercise. The athletes perform at one station and on completion move on to the next. The advantage of this approach is that the athletes can perform their task at their own pace and the coach will provide feedback when required. Reciprocal, also known as peer coaching. Theorists argue that this approach promotes social development and because it requires athletes to work together in pairs. One partner performs a skill and the other athlete provides feedback. In this approach, the athletes often use a checklist to assist in providing feedback. Self-check. In this approach, the athletes work independently on a task. The use of the checklist developed by the coach, sometimes with diagrams or photos of the skill, assist the athletes in checking their work. Inclusion. The coach designed a task which includes several different levels. Which includes several levels of difficulty. It's catered for varying levels of ability. In this approach, the athletes can choose to work at a level which they feel challenged. And the next one is about section. During the planning stages of both sessions, I thought the research I conducted to be able to perform both sessions were enough for me to be able to take the sessions comfortably, which showed in the feedback I received for both. I believe I did this well because I knew exactly what to do in this one. This showed in my demonstrations for both sessions as I gave good detailed tips on how to perform the skill well. Without the research conducted, the information I gave would not have been detailed, which is why I believe planning was done well. The things I could to improve my planning for next time would be to bring a whistle. During both sessions I did not have a whistle in my possession. I didn't lose control of any two sessions because my voice projection was loud and clear. However, with a whistle would have made the session a lot easier because I could have added simple instructions such as one whistle, stop what you're doing, two whistles, stop what you're doing and gather around me. By adding these simple yet effective rules into the session, it would have made the session a lot smoother and it would have worked a lot better if I would have had a bigger group in the future. My checks for the venue, equipment and environment for both sessions went well, with there being nothing wrong with anything. The main reason this went so well because of the risk assessments I did for both sessions, which broke down everything that could go wrong and break down everything that could go wrong and ways I could deal with it. Without doing the risk assessment, I don't believe my sessions would have been as safe as they were. In both sessions, my introduction to the sessions was classed as clear, confident and good use of humour in the football session. I achieved this because I have good people skills and passion for taking coaching session. With my introduction, I also checked each participant to see if they were able to take part in the session, if they were injured to check to see if there was any injury, which ensured safety for both sessions as all participants were able to take part and not have injury. If I didn't do this, it could result in injuring the participants because I did not do my job correctly. During my badminton session, the main point I did correctly was a good use of space in the sports hall, using all participants had court to play on, and no one was sitting out waiting. If I didn't do that, then the participants were sitting out waiting. Their muscles could get cold, tighten up, giving more chance of injury occurring. Areas for improvement in the badminton session would be to give up more shuttles so they aren't wasting their time fetching one at a time, so they can practice the skill more and not fetching it. I feel the feedback was given was correct, and in future lessons I would be allowing more shuttles to be used. However, this does increase the likelihood of messing around and decreases the competition. During my football session, the main things that I picked up on was it was well organised. Would be beneficial if I did a lot of footballs instead of letting them get them themselves. By doing this, it would reduce the chance of them messing around happening, which is why in the future I would reduce so. Another thing that I could have done better in my football session was to split up the skill levels between the class. I struggled doing this because I had a short amount of time with them and worked with them before. If I take multiple groups in the future, it will be a lot easier to find out abilities as well, want to be with them more, making the session more beneficial for all participants. My communication in both sessions were overall good, with the same mistake being made in both, which was to use participants' name, seek and listen to contributions of participants, and to offer more encouragement. Which in the future I would to integrate all of these into every session to make them more beneficial and enjoyable. With my strengths being user questions to encourage feedback in both sessions. I used appropriate language for participants. This made my session run smoothly.
and beneficial towards the participants. During my football session, one of the main weaknesses was that I didn't move around as much. I didn't really move around as much as I felt. The position I had was good enough to see, because I could see all participants. However, I now realise that with moving around gives me different angles and how skills are performing, which lets me gather more information, which makes the feedback a lot better for the participants. Another improvement would be that all participants taking part in the football session, they had to have a touch of the ball before scoring a point in the end game. So instead of it, you had to pass into the box, pass into the box and back out to work on the passing. Every person in the team must have had a touch, which works everybody into the group. I believe on a whole, both sessions went well and gave me good experience that I've been able to learn from. Having them assessed and peer assessed also gave me a lot more information and room for improvements that if I would have self-assessed I would have not have got. On a whole, it was an enjoyable experience that I can't wait to get into more and learn from and expand my knowledge in coaching in the near future.
Okay.